Hi everyone! Welcome back to another YouTube video. I haven't been here for a week because I've been to New York, and that's also the reason of this video, because I wanted to talk to you about traveling as a fat person, because I got a lot of questions of people who were like, I'm going on a vacation or I'm gonna travel alone, and how is it, what's it like to travel as a fat in a plane, etc, etc. So I thought, let me talk about it, because I had an experience this time that I wanted to share with y'all. So I've traveled a lot alone, and when you travel with family members, it's always different, because you'll be sitting next to people or with friends. That you'll be sitting with people you'll feel comfortable with. But when you're traveling alone, it's something else. You should really pay attention to the seat that you book. So always make sure that you're on the outside, as in not the window, not the middle, but the outside chair. So you can like make a room for yourself by leaning towards the outside, or putting the arm thingy up and like create more space for yourself. So that's just a tip that I find comfortable, and that when you need to pee, you can just get out easily, and not that everyone has to stand up for you, and it will make things very awkward. Like, they should just stand up for you and not make a scene, but for me, it's always, I don't want to disturb anyone during a flight. I just want to get up in peace and be like, okay, I can pee now if I want to, I can stand up if I want to, I can walk around if I want to. So that's a tip for me. And now I will tell you about my flight to New York, because to London and to Sweden, the flights were short. So to London is like 1 hour flight, and to Sweden is also 2 hour flight. So you're in that situation for a very short time. To London and Sweden, I had people sitting next to me, but it's a very short flight. So you're like, it's like sitting in a bus, basically, or in a train. But when you're in a flight of 8 hours, that's literally a day, something like that. That's a whole work day. So then you want to sit comfortable, then you don't want to be in an awkward situation for 8 hours. And it can be weird flying as a fat person, because sometimes I'm like, this is just not built for us, as in, that annoys me. Like the same with entertainment parks and roller coasters. Not everyone is a sample size. Not everyone has the same size. Not everyone is gonna fit in your chair. So why the hell aren't there just bigger chairs, economy, but bigger chairs for fat fucking people? Because we need our space. Like, if a tiny person sits in a chair, it is a big ass chair. But if I sit in it, it's a small ass chair. And we should all have the decent space to live, right? That's my opinion. So, hello, flying agencies, we need bigger chairs for fat people. I think that's just something that we should think about. So, that's sad. We're moving on to my flight to New York. I also flew to Kenya alone, but with a girl I just met, Perrine. She's now a friend of mine. But then we were sitting next to each other, and then it's also, each other, so it's still different. When you're really flying alone, like I did to New York, I will just tell you the situation. So when we flew, I didn't book my tickets myself, so that's why I told you, like, if you book or someone else book, just make sure that you're on the outside. Like, I know you want to look out the window, I love it as well, but the window part, it depends on the plane, because in the Delta flight I had a lot of, like, it went curved, so I could like manage myself a little bit in the corner. But at KLM it was straight, so there was no room whatsoever to put yourself in. So just make sure you're on the alley, on the path side, so you have just space to make yourself more comfortable. So on the flight to New York, I was flying with Delta, and it was very comfortable. Delta, shout out to you. The belts were long, so I actually had like a stroke left, so that was very comfortable, because there were some people who were like, I'm worried that that the belt won't fit. If it doesn't fit, you can just ask a flight attendant for an extra piece. How do you say it? Don't be ashamed to do that. Just do it, because you can't squeeze yourself in a belt that's too tight. So just go to a flight attendant, or put your hand up and be like, I need an extra strap for my belt. That's completely normal. They have that, so don't worry about that. People looking down on you, bitch, you want to go to that place you're going, right? So people can look at you whatever the hell they want, but you are also allowed to go on a fucking plane. Like, as I said, it's made for everyone, but not really, but still it's made for everyone. So you're just going to fly. So don't let that stop you, please, because we all are worthy to see the whole fucking world, and people who think that that's not the case, they can go fuck themselves in the anus. So, just saying. But so that flight was very comfortable. I was in a 2-seat, and I was sitting at the window side. I didn't book these tickets myself. And now after this flight, I was like, I need to sit in the pathway side. But there was one guy next to me, and he was super friendly. And I needed to pee a lot, so I had to stand up, and that made me like, I need to be on the other side because I pee a lot. So yeah, that's that. But he was very friendly. Delta has comfortable seats. I was in economy plus, so those are bigger chairs as well. So yeah, that was comfortable, and the food was great, and you know, had a little TV, I could watch movies, so that's great. And yeah, so that was overall just great. That was fine. But then with the flight back to my home, I flew with KLM, and that was quite a trip because they booked a seat for me in a row of 3, and I was in the middle. And when they told me that, I was like, yeah, fine, because, you know, this was my first time on like a press trip, and I didn't know how much I could demand, you know. And now I know, like, no, you're not gonna book that seat for me because that's not working out. I already thought so, like, a seat in the middle, I'm a fat person, no, this is not gonna work, because then I'll be bothering 2 persons. And we shouldn't think like that, but still you're gonna think like that because you're fat, you know, and you don't wanna, you know, sort of annoy people with taking up space. Well, that is, you should take up space, you know, but still that's just something that you think about. Me too, you know, you just don't want to bother people. But if you're sitting in the middle, like, I can make myself small, but I cannot make myself smaller than small because my body is still my body, you know. So I came on a plane, and already my suitcase was too heavy, so I had to take stuff out, and I have to take it in my hand luggage. And I hate walking with 3 bags and stuff popping out. I want to be compact. I want to have 1 bag. I don't want to have my jacket on. I want my jacket in my suitcase, but I had to take my jacket out. So you can imagine in what state I was already going into the plane. I was like, oh my fucking god. But luckily the flight took less long than the flight to New York, because the flight to New York was like 9 hours and the flight back was 6 hours. Like, where are those 3 hours? But okay, so I was happy about that. But then I came to my seats, and there were 2 white middle-aged guys sitting there, and I was like, you are the type of people I hate most in this world, and I have to sit next to you for 6 hours. But okay, it's fine. So they were sitting there, and I was asking them, like, are you guys flying together, or what is this? Because they were sitting on the outsides, and like the seat in the middle was mine. So I asked them, like, don't you want to sit together, like, besides each other? Because I would be more comfortable if I flew with someone to sit next to each other than have someone sitting in the middle of us. You know what I mean? So I was like arranging it for myself, like, can I sit like on the outside, because I also have to pee a lot. I was like just getting it together, you know. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay. But I think they suspected that when they booked those seats that no one was going to be booked in the middle. But then I'm like, it's a 3-seat plane thingy, so you can suspect people to be in the middle. But okay, so I opened the luggage thing, and it was packed with their stuff. And I thought, oh my god. And I was like, is this your stuff? And they were like, yes. And I was like, are you gonna get something out? Because I need to also pack my stuff in here. And they were just keep on looking like me. I was like, I'm gonna fight you in this plane. For real. But okay, so I turn around. There was another spot available, so I put my stuff there, and I seated next to them. But we didn't fit, because the guy left of me, he was I guess older dude, something in 50s, 60s, but he was also a little bit bigger, so that was already the case. And then that man besides me was just a middle-aged guy, but like just normal size, like not tiny or something. So we were sitting there. I was sitting like literally with my hands like this, because I also just didn't want to like feel comfortable with them, because already their whole white male fucking privileged asses were looking at me like, you're fat and you're sitting here ill, like that, just literally like that. So I was so uncomfortable, and I was like, this is not, not gonna do this for 6 hours. Because you know what the dudes did? They were sitting like this, like the left guy was like making himself big. He wasn't even trying to make himself smaller, and I was literally like, what the fuck, dude? I can't make myself smaller than this. I am trying and you are not trying. But I was like, I can't fight. Like, I can't pick a fight right now because I'm sitting with you for 6 hours. So this is gonna be horrible. So I was sitting there. I was like, no, I'm not. I can't. So I got a flight attendant. I was like, I need to sit somewhere else. I need to sit somewhere else because I'm super uncomfortable with these guys. Because the right guy was sitting like this. Like, he was leaning constantly away from me. And like sitting all the way to the front. But that's the body language that says, like, I don't want to touch you. I don't want to touch you. I think you're gross. I don't want to touch people. So I was so uncomfortable, and I was like, no, we're not going to do this. And you need to do that as well. If you're not comfortable, get a flight attendant and tell them I am not comfortable. I want to sit somewhere else, because these people are literally fat shaming me and are literally just shaming the fact that I'm sitting here. Like, what the fuck did you expect? So we were in the sky, and I asked her, like, can I please sit somewhere else? And I actually had to cry. I cried because I was so uncomfortable with those men, with that position. And I was like, no, we're not going to do this. So flight attendants are a blessing to this world. Thank you very much. They are so sweet. At Calvin, thank you. They were super, super sweet. And she was like, you can look for yourself, because I was flying back with 2 girls I met at Calvin Klein. So I was like, maybe they have a seat left. And she was like, you can see for yourself, it's fine. So I stood up. I found a seat with like a mom and her daughter. They were sitting together on like a 3-row seat, but they were like sitting, and this seat was like cleared, you know, there was no one here, and they were sitting here, and they were tiny. So I asked her, like, can I please sit here, because those men make me so uncomfortable? And she's like, of course, honey. Oh, she saved my life. She saved my life, because they were super tiny, and I could, you know, lean into the alleyway. So I even slept 2 hours, and I was blessed that there are good people. But still, they are women. I'm just saying, women that, you know, were fine, but with me sitting there. And she was like, of course you can sit here, honey. She could always have been like, no, I don't want you to sit here. But she was like, yes, you can. So that saved my life. So my tips are, but as I told you, this is my worst flight experience ever in my whole life, in 23 years. And it's because I was sitting in the middle of a 3 seat. So never book that for yourself. Always book it on the alley side. Please do so. I need to say that the KLM bells were too small, as in I could just click them in. So that was not very comfortable. And it was so awkward, because I was sitting into the 2 guys, like between the 2 guys, and I had to push it. I struggled to get it closed. So that really, my self-worth dropped like to the ground. So KLM, make that better, okay? Make your seatbelts bigger. But flight attendants were great, and I got the seat in another seat. So please book yourself a seat in the alleyway so you can move, okay? So you can have space, and preferably do it in a seat of like 2 people and not 3. So never sit in the middle, okay? I'm just saying. And never be afraid to ask. You know, I could also have been like, okay, I'm gonna sit here because I don't want to bother anyone, and I feel like I don't deserve to sit in another place. Yes, you do. You do. Get them. Tell them, I'm not comfortable here. They are shaming me, and go. That's exactly what you should do. So yeah. I guess that's it. So book yourself a seat on the alleyway. That's literally my tip of flying. And just, you know, spend a little extra money on comfortable seats, because you'll just need it. You know, you can just be like, yeah, but I only have money for economy. But if you pay, I don't know even how much it is, but maybe like 100 euros more for bigger seats, do it, because it's literally worth it. It's worth it to have bigger seats during a long ass flight. Like in my small flights, I never had something. Yeah, it's not nice. Like, fun is different, but it's not horrible, you know. It's just a short time. You're like, I'll be out of this in a sec. But with long flights, make sure you're comfortable. So yeah, you are worth those extra euros, dollars, whatever. So yeah, I guess that's that. I hope it was helpful, and it was fun talking to you guys again. And Calem and Delta, I hope you were paying attention to everything I said. We need fat people chairs in fucking airplanes because it's just necessary. So yeah, this was it. Like, subscribe, leave some love, and don't forget to push the notification button if you want to be notified with a new video. And I'll see you soon. Bye, babies.